This morning we're looking at Mark chapter 14, the account of the Last Supper, starting at verse 22. While they were eating, Jesus took bread, gave thanks and broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take, this is my body." Then he took the cup, gave thanks and offered it to them, and they all drank from it. "This is my blood of the new covenant, which is poured out for many. I tell you the truth, I will not drink again of the fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it anew in the kingdom of God." When they'd sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Out of curiosity, I always wondered what that hymn was that they sang. Was it a psalm? Was it Psalm 22? Have a look at Psalm 22, and as you read the rest of this story and the account of Good Friday, you might understand why I think that. It's interesting, the Passover, that was the annual feast that commemorated the Passover in Egypt, when the Israelites had to put the blood of a lamb over their doorposts to prevent the death of their firstborn. It was a judgment on Egypt and Israel combined. But the only way to escape that judgment was through a sacrifice. Now, at this point in the meal of the Passover, normally you would have the lamb, and you would present the lamb, and this would be the substitution. It would represent the substitution. But instead of that, Jesus says, "This is my body, broken for you." Instead of a lamb being at the meal, Jesus says, "I am the meal. Here I am. This is my body," saying this is the body of my affliction and suffering. So Jesus says this as he contemplates the cross. The Lord's Supper is a way of taking on the death of Christ for yourself and appropriating it personally. Feed on him in your hearts by faith. When Jesus says to have faith in God, as he did in chapter 11, it's not an arbitrary act. It isn't, "Oh, just have faith." It requires thoughtful and deliberate faith. He's asking his disciples here to move away from, number one, having Passover with their families, they're together. He's moving away from the script of the Passover meal and saying, "I am now bringing a new promise, a new covenant." To eat this meal, we need to chew it and digest it. We need to be thinking about it, the same as receiving and believing in Jesus. The prayer of faith is based on the realities of who Jesus is. And our prayers can be prayed with complete confidence, because in the same way Jesus himself became our sacrifices for many, he also promises us future glory when we will join him at the final meal in the new heaven and the new earth. So today, as we consider Maundy Thursday, the Passover, the night in Gethsemane, think about yourself in that place of prayer. What will be your prayer of faith tonight? What is Jesus doing that is off script? Well, our Easter Sunday is off script. Our Good Friday is off script. Every plan we made for Bank Holiday weekend is off script. It's all gone down the spout. But what opportunities do we have now instead? What is Jesus offering you in this time, in your home, in your time of suffering, in your time of rest, in our time of grieving, as we see so many passing away because of this virus, as we continue to pray for our leaders, as we continue to think about the vaccine that is being worked on? What is Jesus offering? And this isn't a light, "I'm the meal." Jesus tomorrow on Good Friday will be the sacrificial lamb, the blood on the doorposts of our lives to save us from death. This is what he offers. Take time to read this chapter and chapter 15 tomorrow as we look at this Easter period now coming very quickly upon us. And God bless you today.